Previously on Ready to Die.
Cut the f***ing cameras. I have 1K subscribers on YouTube.
You don't drink coffee, do you?
No, I don't do crack. We start with the wins.
It takes a lot of reflection to remember what the wins were in 2024.
I just took my baseline and I got literally 80% on the first try.
Wanted to confirm if now is still a good time for the brief HR screening call.
Whew. Okay, so interview over. Another day, another phone screen. Today I'm doing a phone screen for another role. It's project management. This one is fully remote. I don't have to be on site anywhere, so I could live wherever. Through my use of Claude AI, I actually found out that this role is not necessarily focused on projects, but it's almost like train the project managers. So I'll be training them and preparing them to do project management and stuff like that, which is kind of cool because that's what I do on social media, but that's not necessarily what I have on my resume. So I was asking Claude to help me figure out how will I translate that information in the interview without letting it be known that I do this on social media, because I just do this, like, I keep a big separation between church and state. That's what I call it. But really it's like my professional world and my personal world. I don't let them intersect. Like, people at work be like, oh, do you have? No, I don't. I don't have it. I don't have that. And that's just, I guess, the millennial in me, but it's never a time where I need to share that info with you. So that interview is 10:06. That starts at 10:15. It's going to be via Teams, but it's not on video. It's audio only, hence why I'm still in my workout apparel from this morning. And then had my best friend on the phone, helping her kind of walk through some things with her upcoming birthday party. You know, the people that's born in 1990, we turning 35 this year. Everybody is turning up. God, thank you for today. Thank you for this opportunity. There were probably hundreds, maybe even thousands of applications that went through, and you allowed mine to catch the eye of HR, so much so that they want to speak with me. So I don't take this moment for granted, and I don't take it lightly. Thank you for the opportunity just to kind of talk and share my experience and pieces of my personality. I pray that if this is for me, it won't miss me. I pray that if I make it to the next round, I continue to just kind of submit to you and submit to the process and the experience. I'm honored to just be here today, and I pray I make you proud the way that I show up for this phone screening. So thank you, and nonetheless, not my will but your will be done, in Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you so much for taking the time to schedule this call with me today.
Sure, absolutely.
So what I'd like to do with our time is just get a little bit more information about your experience. I will go into more detail about the position as well as an organization, and then we will save some time on the back half of the call to help answer any additional questions you may have.
Okay, sounds good.
Can you walk me through your current situation?
I am actively looking for employment. I finished my last contract a couple months ago, so now I'm trying to look for something a little more long-term.
And then can you kind of give me an overview of your employment history in regards to project management?
Yes. So in my last role with I managed a portfolio of about 8 to 10 different enterprise technology projects. So I focused on those different type of implementations with a wide range of different budgets, and those projects were mostly agile. So I did kind of operate as like a scrum master where I was facilitating different scrum events. Prior to that, I was with where I was operating more so as a marketing project manager. So there I kind of managed the different cross-functional teams from beginning to end.
What are you looking for in your next job?
I'm looking for a place where I can plant roots but also grow. I'm very big on support. So, I would like a culture in which it's, we're here to help you whatever you may need so you can be successful, which then makes us as an organization successful. Looking for long-term, as I stated, I've been doing a lot of contract work, which I feel like that helped me gain a lot of experience in a lot of different industries, a lot of different software. And so now I kind of want to take all the different things that I've had to kind of bring to one place and then grow within that space. Excuse me.
And bless you. What attracted you to applying for this role?
From my understanding of the job description, it feels as if it's like a train the project managers type of role, which gets me excited because prior to project management, I used to be an educator. And though working with little kids is there's a special group of people that can work with young kids, I've always liked educating and helping others like grow and evolve and develop, which is why I still give back and I'm part of that nonprofit. And so just kind of seeing the opportunities to grow in that space.
So to give you a high level overview of this position, so this is a new role. And it was created to address the skill gaps and the need to reinforce and help our team develop and grow, as well as obviously helping the firm grow as well. They are looking for somebody who has a passion for teaching and understanding the importance of passing on knowledge. They're looking for somebody with a strong understanding of project management, especially when it comes to large projects, where the scope of the work is crucial. So in this role, this person is going to help help associates transition into a professional services firm. So this person will be responsible for developing and implementing training programs and helping to ensure that they adhere to the project management best practices. It'll include conducting training sessions and both hands-on and virtual, ongoing support and guidance to the team members with a focus on the newly onboarded associates. And then this person will offer support and professional growth as well, facilitating those regular check-ins and meetings, both one-on-ones and group, and helping to promote that collaborative and inclusive environment.
So interview over. I think that went well. It looks like they're very big on the type of person that they want, which I think is important. If I were to move the next steps, I probably wouldn't even be able to start this job until mid-February. I am on my way to the library. Y'all know
it's grind time, no flossing. Let's get it.
You feel me? So today I need to study for the PSM. Like I've stated before, the PSM is obviously easier than expected, but that doesn't mean I need to slack. So each day I do dedicate an hour or two to just reviewing the material to keep it fresh on the top of my head. And so I've just been on scrum.org, I've been on Quizlet, I've been on just all types of different platforms, Reddit, just kind of seeing what's out there, YouTube, just to keep it at top of mind. Because one thing about it, I just want to do it once and one time only. But it is open book, open notes, so I can have things around, but I kind of want it to already be here. Okay, y'all like my hat? Y'all, my mom, she loves to walk, and I don't like that because she, is getting older, and so her body shuts down quicker than usual. And so with her walking a lot, she's just being in pain sometimes. And this is her walking hat. She puts this on to block the sun. And so one, I put it on because I thought it was gonna be cute, but two, I was like, maybe this to deter her from going outside for the walk. Cause I don't think y'all understand, like, the lady be walking for miles. She'll walk for miles, and it's good that she's walking and staying active, but you don't want to stress your muscles. You don't want to stress your joints. And she's at the point where she got the arthritis and the osteoporosis, which I learned is like your bones breaking. So the worst thing that can happen to her is she out there and she just can't walk no more, and then she falls, she can literally die. Like her bones can quote unquote shatter type of thing, and we don't want that. So I'm taking this hat as an act of rebellion. It's crazy watching your parents get older. My parents were always older, honestly. Like, my dad is a member of the silent generation and my mom is a boomer. And some of y'all probably don't even know what the silent generation is, but that's what that man is, okay? He was born in 1945 and my mom was born in 1956. And so me and my little brother, we're the kids that they probably shouldn't have had, because y'all already had kids and y'all was grown. Like, what is y'all doing? What is y'all doing? But now I'm here being great. There has been, honestly, I feel like having older parents forces you to slow down just a wee bit more in life. I'm not gonna hold you. Even though both of my parents, not both, even though my mom is like, when are you gonna give me grandbabies? Look, I ain't rushing. I'm not rushing, okay? If I would have already had a child, I'm already struggling as an individual, like trying to figure this stuff out. Every day I pivot and I start a new plot in life, and just trying to figure things out, regrouping, starting over. Like, I just could not imagine doing that with child. I just couldn't imagine doing it with them. So I'm just focused on creating stability. And I think when you're older, there's just a little bit more stability in your life. You just slow down just a little more. You're not concerned about the things that don't matter. And so obviously you can plan better. And I don't care what people say. People be like, oh, you're never going to be ready to have a child. Yes, the heck you can. Like, I need to at least make sure that I'm putting the financial resources away so that I can have a child, but also take care of the child, right? Like, I ask my friends all the time, like, what did you wish that you had during your pregnancy, during your first year? Like, if money wasn't an object, what is it that you wish you would have? And so those are the things that I take, so then I can go try to prepare to be a parent. Now, obviously, it's gonna be my first rodeo, but I can at least have the millions to pay for some help, okay? Let me think. Like, I think it's so crazy that, like, this little person is just, like, your responsibility for, like, years. And, like, before 18, you can go to jail for not taking care of them things. But, of course, I've always saw myself as a parent, as a mom. And I think in my younger years, I thought that I would already be a mom. And now that I'm older and I'm not a mom, I'm thankful that I am not a mom yet. My niece, she is my light. I love her to death. That is my favorite kid in the world, and she shows me a lot that I would be not only a good mom, but I would like motherhood, in the simple fact that, like, I truly just enjoy that she exists. I really like her. Like, she can't do anything for me, and I love hitting up her mom like, hey, what is she doing this weekend? I want to grab her. I want to see her. Or just calling her on FaceTime and she talking to me about nothingness, randomness, everything, and nothing at the same time. Her doing FaceTime hauls and stuff like that. Like, those breaks that I get away from her makes me want to come back and spend time with her. And I know when you're a parent, you don't really get a break. So in order to get a break, you would probably have to pay for help. And that's one of the things that I desire to kind of set up for myself right now before I, have a child. I want to make sure that I'm putting money aside for that, in that investment, that experience. Like, help me, please. I don't want to just go into the game blindly thinking I'm finna have support. I also may not even want the support that's being offered. You feel me? So, just some things to keep in mind, or that I be thinking about. my gosh, I'm so tired. Just left the library. I did a hot 2 hours only because that's the maximum time you could rent a room. I actually went to my childhood library. It looks absolutely nothing like what I remember. And I can't remember the last time I've been here, because even like when I'm down in South Florida or even at my parents' house, I actually go to the library at FIU. So FIU has 2 campuses. They have a main campus and then they have a north campus, right? That north campus is closer to my parents. So I typically go there to the library. But because I've been tutoring my godbrother's daughter, I go to the regular public library because I go there for a couple hours and then she comes after school and I tutor her. But since today there's no tutoring, I decided to go to my childhood library, and I'm just like, oh wow, y'all really revamped some things. But it kind of feels smaller, but also I feel like when you go to the library as a kid, because you're little, everything is huge, but then you become an adult and everything feels small. But I went in, I got a new library card. I was feeling like author.
Having fun isn't hard when you got a library card.
I don't know, I need some lunch and I need a nap. I was so happy with all that I was able to gather in my PSM study time, because I really just want to focus on spending a couple hours per day just reviewing the content. I can tell the exam is going to be fairly simple, so why mess that up? Now, in the midst of all the applications that I keep telling you guys that I applied for, one of the things that's on my, like, I guess, career bucket list or professional goals list is I've always wanted to teach college classes. And it's because once I realized that I started teaching like every type of grade level, right? I've done daycare, I've done elementary, middle, high school. I'm like, I have to do college. Like, somebody has to call me Professor P. I want to be known as Professor P, whether it's 1 semester, 5 semesters, who knows, but I have to do it for at least 1 semester. And so I applied to a couple roles, and my friend actually recommended that I send a message, like I sent an email to the deans to let them know, like, hey, I applied, what's T? So I did that. I got 2 responses. So the first response that I got, mind you, y'all know I use Cloud AI for that email. What had happened was they were like, good morning, thanks for your interest. I'm including the department chairs for the 2 roles that I was applying for on this email. As they hire adjuncts in those areas, they will be in touch with you if we have a need for either one of those in future terms. Chef's kiss. Love that. And the other one, that dean told me, what did she write? That part-time faculty hires are made by the chair of the department. So the chair for that department is Mr. Such and Such. I recommend you reach out to him and see if he has any needs for the upcoming semesters. So when I get home, I'm gonna send my thank yous to them, and then I'm going to send an email to that one. So the course I applied specifically for education, to be either an education instructor or a student life skills instructor. I personally think I would do better in student life skills, because if there's one thing that I want, is I want people to know what to expect out here. I want them to be exposed to the different opportunities, and I want to put you in position to win. And I'm always doing that in my classrooms, and so I feel like student life skills is like what would need me best.
3 days later.
We officially have a win for the culture, guys. So y'all know that screening that I have for the project manager trainer role, well, they're requesting an interview with me within the next 2 weeks, and so I am hella excited. 1, because they meet my minimum as far as like salary requirements, so boom. 2, fully remote. Honestly, I thrive. I do my best work when I'm fully remote. But also, it's what I do now. I get on all these different platforms and I teach, I share gems. So I will be prepping for this interview like crazy. I've always said all I need is an interview and I got the job. And I say that because I actually do the work and what's necessary to show up properly for the interview and secure that role. I'm leaving here with something. I've been applying to jobs all day, all weekend. I'm tired. But I just did a PI assessment, which is a performance index behavioral assessment, which pretty much kind of shows your personality type. And sometimes there's certain types of personalities you need in certain roles. And so it's not that it can make or break me for that role. It might be that, oh, you know what? She actually has a personality for another role, or she's perfect for this role type of thing. So just did that right quick. I'm reporting my PDUs for my PMP, and I'm rewatching this course that I took on being a business analyst, since business analysts are like your besties in projects. I absolutely love my BAs. I honestly feel like this project is really theirs, and just learning more about what they do, how they think, how they function. But I had already did this course. I'm just rewatching it because I am reporting this course to get some PDUs from it. So when you're doing your project management PDUs, they don't necessarily have to be like a project management course. It could be project management adjacent. It could be people that you work with, all that type of stuff. So many ways to get PDUs.
2 days later.
Few updates. I heard back from one of the jobs that I did a phone screen with, and when I mean heard back, I got the email that was saying, we don't want you. So, anywho, funny enough, literally, I just got an email maybe a few minutes ago for a 24-month contract, hybrid, either Dallas, Texas, or Miramar, Florida. But you know, I get these emails all the time, and sometimes they be lying. Sometimes it just be bullshit. Bullshit. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, headed to the library. Right now it's 11. I have 12, 1, 2, 3. I have 4.5 hours before I have to start tutoring. So I'm going to spend 2 hours on, first of all, no, I don't have 4.5 hours. I have 4 hours because it's going to take me about 30 minutes to get to this dang library. So I'll spend 2 hours on, I guess, setting up video editing, because I do need to do some of that. I didn't do that yesterday because I got really sleepy at the library yesterday. I got so sleepy, like, get in my bed. And then after I do the studying, then I will do some interview prep, because tomorrow I have my interview. And one, I'm excited for the role because, like, this is like chef's kiss, but also they sent me an email pretty much saying, like, we recommend business professional attire. This is virtual. I can't tell y'all the last time I've dressed up for work, let alone dressed up in business professional, baby. I don't know what that looks like. But, you know, I'm not mad, because I told myself that I wanted to get more work wear and start attending like networking events and functions, and I need the outfits to wear, okay? You know, I'm very much thinking oversized blazer with the pants, giving pantsuit. That's kind of like how I want to pull up on them. You feel me? But I found my funeral dress. I call it my funeral dress, because I don't know, do y'all have those clothes? Like, do y'all have like certain clothes that you wear to certain things? And I ain't gonna hold you, I don't be wanting the folks to talk junk about me at the funeral, which is why I have me a funeral dress. And when I mean junk about the funeral, if you not Haitian, you not gonna really understand. They really be looking at you sideways about your attire. And when I mean they, I mean like the old heads, okay? Gen X, baby boomers, silent generation. They will shame you. They'll be like, you killed the person. You don't even know the person, all because of what you wear. Disrespecting the family, all because of what you wear. They're not even your family. You're disrespectful. You're slapping in their face. So I don't want that type of smoke. But anyway, I say that to say that funeral dress is the closest thing I have to business attire, and this is a virtual meeting, so I'm gonna put that on, do a light, very basic beat, because that's actually all I know how to do, because this year one of my goals is to learn how to do that face that I love. Like, I get the same type of face every time I go get my makeup done. It is the same type of face. I don't veer off of it. We might add a little color, but I look the same. Okay, I want to learn that bare face because I like it. But even after I learned that, I probably still wouldn't go to a interview like that, because I don't want that to be your expectation. Okay, I set the expectations very low for how I look and show up at work. Okay, I'm poor. All I can afford is an Apple Watch. Whole time I'm going outside with a rollie. You know what I'm saying? So I set expectations very low at work. I don't want y'all thinking I got it. You know what? You actually don't pay me enough. You don't pay me enough. That's why all I can have is not even the newest Apple Watch. My Apple Watch about 10 years old. That's the type of energy I like to give in the workplace. If they ever saw my car, I'd be like, dang, you don't think it's time for upgrade? Oh, no. Upgrades are for people with the millions. I got the nunyons. I can't afford to upgrade, my dears. Because I feel like they judge you at work for stuff like that. I really do. Even in a virtual environment, I don't let the background show too much. I don't want it to give, oh, you have a very nice house.
Great gowns, beautiful gowns.
No, I'm actually in the shack behind McDonald's. Like, that's where I am doing this meeting. Okay, I don't give too much. But yeah, so excited for that, excited to dress up. And then today I'm gonna actually ask the library, do they allow like reservation times for the meeting room, because the interview is an hour. It's from 2 to 3 p.m. So I would want to get in, and you only get 2 hours to reserve the room. So I would want to get in at like 1:30, so then I can get out at 3:30. You know what I'm saying? So I need to find out. That whole first come first serve is stupid. It's dumb. Okay, and I don't know if I could finagle that interview in the car. Like, I can't do that. I have to find a place. My home would be the last resort, but sometimes you got internet connections, you got family issues. I don't want that either. I think the workaround, like last resort, would be to go to a friend's house to do the interview. I got a friend that works from home, so that's probably like where I can go. I've done that before in the past, interviewed at her crib. The only difference is the fact that like I have the tutoring at the library. So in the perfect world, it would make sense for me to be at the library. It would make sense. Anything else is just inconveniencing and changing meeting times, and I don't want to do that. Like, I do not want to do that. So we're gonna see how we can make it do what it do. Good morning. It is 11 a.m. Eastern time, and I am actually getting ready to head to the library. Got to make a quick stop at the gas station first, but I am excited for today's interview. Y'all, I had to dress up, so I got on my funeral dress. My dad was just like, not you calling this your funeral dress? I'm like, yeah, man. I had this dress, I want to say, either since my uncle's funeral in 2019 or my other uncle's funeral since 2016. It's two different sides of the family, that's why I described it that way. but me in this dress is locked in. Honestly, it's probably the only reason why I continue to work out, because I don't want another dress. I really like it because look at the wrist. Like, I just like how this kind of like flows and drops. It's appropriate. Nobody gonna ever say nothing negative about me, okay? And I'm just keep it cute. Now, if I was in person, I probably would wear some stockings and some heels with it, but I am just wearing some sandals. My interview is at 2 p.m. so I'm probably gonna get to the library by like 11:45-ish. My biggest concern is at the library, you cannot reserve one of those quiet private tutoring rooms. Like, you just can't reserve it. It's very much first come first serve. And so I'm over here trying to figure out how to calculate me pulling up and saying, hey, can I get a room, so I can have adequate time in the room. So in a perfect world, I should get the room at 1:30, 30 minutes before the meeting. And then since I have a 2-hour time limit in the room, when the meeting is at 3, I have another 30 minutes to gather myself before I get out of the room. And then I can start tutoring. Y'all, the issue is they'll tell you the room available at 1:30 and then call you at like 1:05 and be like, hey, the room's available now. And it's just like, well, can we hold off? Because I want to not get kicked out early. And it's weird, like, I don't know, people that work at the library, it's certain type of people that work at the library. It's this one dude, like, every time he comes, because one of the things that, yes, you have a 2-hour time limit, but one of the things that multiple people in the library have told me is you could just stand there until somebody needs the room. So even though you have 2 hours, no one's coming to kick you out at 2 hours until someone else has reserved or has signed up saying, hey, I want, you know, the next available room. Then they'll come get you. But this man, y'all, he come get you like law enforcement beating on the door, SWAT team got a, you know, no knock warrant type shit. Like, sir,
You know what it never was? That serious. It was never that serious. Quite frankly, would never be that serious. Never.
do y'all have a favorite pump? Like, I come to the same, I will wait for this pump. I don't know what magical powers, anyway, I don't know what magical powers they got, but I'm pumping right here. Nice. Ooh, had to put the glasses on because it was sunny outside. Only for me to realize those are just fashion glasses. They not really designed to do anything for your eyes, for real. You know, I had initially told myself that I was gonna do my makeup for this interview, and then I just had too much of a heavy morning, and I'm like, yeah, no, you're not getting that. You're gonna get the lashes that I hope get they cells together. You're just gonna get the lashes. That's all. And also, like, I'm uncomfortable at my parents' house. Everything isn't where I need it to be. I'm very crowded. So because of that heaviness also, I tend to avoid certain things, doing certain things. Like, I don't want to start doing my makeup because then the room is hot and I'm bothered. It's just so much. Like, I just can't wait to move. I just can't. I just really can't. And, you know, I learned a lot staying with my parents as an adult, in the fact that, like, you have to buy a home, not necessarily for the kid now, but for the adult version of the kid, if that makes sense. My parents bought this house December 2000. In December 2000, I was 10 years old. I'm 34 now, so that was 24 years ago. All the rooms in the house are too small for an adult. Everything feels crowded. And even like you put a queen size bed, a full size bed, like it swallows up the room. You have no room. And so this makes me think about, like, when I decide to, like, purchase that home, like that family home, we need to, like, yes, I guess it can start with the kids being young, but we would probably have to build our forever home and create an excess of space. Space plays too big of a role in how we function for people to be in cramped spaces. Like, I don't like it. Even if the room is designed for you to solely rest, you shouldn't rest and roll over on the floor and you're hitting the wall like that. Like, sometimes rest looks like you sitting on the chair in your room or the beanbag in your room. But if you don't have space for that, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like that. Like, I would love to have a vanity in my room, but I can't because I don't have the space. It's either desk or vanity. Now, in this home, logistically, my desk can go in possibly another area of the home, but that would be a shared space. And at that point, I have to accept the risk of somebody potentially doing something to my equipment. And to minimize risk, I keep it in the room. You know what I'm saying? Other people coming in out the house, you know, people having access to that. I just can't do that. I don't want to deal with that. So it stays in the room. And I sacrifice the vanity part for now because it's just like, well, we in hustle mode. We gotta edit, and I don't want to say hustle mode. I'm actually very particular with the language that I use. Not hustle mode, but we're very much in work mode. That works. We're in work mode. So because we're in work mode, that means the computer is in the room. And then it's crazy because the room is so small. So like the room heats up when you turn on technology. And it's just so wild. Becoming an adult, being able to rent a house, rent an apartment, live outside of my parents' home, I see like there are certain things that you need to do if you want to create a thriving environment for you and other people. Like environmental design is, I feel like there has to be big money in there. It has to be, because like my skin crawls. Like I can't function. And to me, the way that I see it is I rather create the bigger room and you added stuff in there for it to feel cozy than to have the small cozy room for the person that needs more space to breathe and they can't breathe, right? So there's that. But I really see like I would not, like after, I want to say, but I guess the house works for up until, like the rooms work up until middle high school probably. Well, my room was big. The room I'm in right now is my brother's old room, so that room is actually small. But the room functioned up until like high school. But I guess as parents, you probably don't think your kids are coming back. But me, the way that I like view having a home is like I need space in the event that not just like my child, but even my friend, even my family, like if they need to restart and rebuild, like I truly want you to be comfortable. I don't want it to be like, oh well, I gave you a bed. No, I want to give you a space for you to really like, you know, set your intention, dive into your purpose, and then get back on your feet, whatever you may need. I want to give you the space as a whole, not a bed, because I mean, we need more than that.
Later.
Hello, good afternoon, or good morning. I don't know where you guys are based.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, yeah.
Okay.
What
What part of the country are you in?
I'm in Miami.
That's a nice place to be right now, I suppose. So I wanted to kind of take an opportunity here to do a brief introduction and, learn a little bit more about you and kind of tell you, how we got to the spot that we are now and needing some help with some things that, that we think are imperative for us from a strategic vision standpoint in order to take our game to the next level. So does that sound like an okay format for you to get started?
We have a theory. Our theory is this is the thing that's tripping us up the most, kind of thing, and we need to work on it. It's important to know, though, that this isn't like, oh God, if we do bad project management, the building's not going to be built. No, the building's going to get built. It's going to be a safe building, right? It just will be, a year late and cost us twice as much as it should.
When I was thinking about this position, come in, kind of do an analysis and see what's going on and say, hey, here's some ways that I think we could make this better, help some of these people that you're shadowing implement some of those strategies, work through that, and eventually get to a spot where, we've got a model that we can follow and scale and recreate.
That's one of the things that I'm always tasked with as someone that's an outsider of the organization. Like, hey, can you come in and see how our processes and workflows are and provide feedback? And I'm always able to find a way to get us a little bit more efficient. Example, when I was at they operate in a more agile environment. But because there's been so many transitions and changes within the company, everyone is like in their own world. So what I'm noticing is we were operating in sprints. These sprints are like 4 weeks long. This is, you get your feature updates in and we should have something that's work-wittable at the end of these 4 weeks. But I'm noticing that there isn't anything work-wittable at the end of the 4 weeks. And then now we're pushing it to the next sprint. And as I'm, meeting with the different team members, trying to find out like, okay, what is it that you do? Why do you do this? What's the reason behind that? I'm just finding like, okay, so the main disconnect is you guys don't talk to each other. So you're taking longer to complete stuff because you're not talking to each other and then you're not talking about the essentials. I recommended, hey, let's test out all of us in a sprint planning session, ask your questions. You have the tech side here, you have the business side here because the stakeholders are present. Is it even feasible before we start spending money going through 5 sprints only to get to that last sprint review and find out that we can't even implement this? So we've done wasted time and money. Yeah,
I think one thing that I heard in all of that I want to make sure we're, being candid about is, we're doing other people's accounting for them. Mm-hmm. We don't have like complete say over how to do it. When I hear you talk about a quick win kind of a thing, people think there's a million different ways to do what we're doing, and we probably do that a lot of different ways because it's a client requirement to do that, mm-hmm. right? So there's going to need to be a higher level ability to look at things. The quick win is situational for sure, but it won't be an aha to anybody.
Right. And I guess when I speak is not to talk about changes to accounting.
No.
Okay. Yeah, so it wouldn't be any changes to accounting, and I understand every project is different, but there's still those quote unquote best practices. That would be the quick wins I would look for. It would really understanding like what is it that everyone's doing, try to even see if there's any trends. What is it that you guys do as far as managing your accounts, project managing your accounts? I guess that's the language I would use.
Currently, I think people just look at the financial statements and say, here's the due date. And, they're not really managing the individual aspects of that accordingly and in a systematic way. And I think that's part of the challenge that we're facing right now.
Because I know you mentioned pretty much like there's different milestones that needs to get hit before you even get to that last deliverable, which is the statement or whatever that might be. So do you guys already have that system, or maybe it's a software, like you have something already set with these milestones in them already and you're trying to revamp that or something, or try to create a new system based on that?
I'm glad you asked that. I had a note on that. So we're real creative as accountants, but our tool is called Workflow. So we built our own tool. Functionally, it's similar to like a Monday or a Flowcast, and we can enter projects in there and jobs. And quite honestly, and unfortunately, I don't think our adoption of it has been as successful as we'd like. I would think that this position would require somebody to gain some familiarity with that tool and potentially even help us to, as we continue to evolve and make changes to that platform.
I would say that this is a project like this. Coming in, reviewing your processes and workflows and kind of creating a new system to eventually have that new best practice. That's like a whole project in itself. How will you know that this role is successful?
I mean, to a certain extent, there's going to be key performance indicators that we can look at, timeliness of deliverables, a term that we use is realization. We can look at things like we run client satisfaction surveys. We can look at things like that. We can look at adoption and utilization of our workflow tool that I mentioned. There isn't really, anything that we're going to say, hey, this is the measuring stick for pass or fail, because a lot of this stuff is intangible, I mean, we should be getting to a place where we see more effective project management from the people that you're going to be working with and our team as a whole.
Okay, so when we do the shadowing and, assessing and analyzing, is this something that is supposed to take place with like a small group within the group, or are we all hands on it? Okay.
Yeah, so I think the first launch would be to get you in front of some people that have been doing it for a while. Mm-hmm. But eventually I would like this to get to a place to where, we do develop that curriculum. And as we hire new people on, which we do frequently, I would almost like to see this as part of their onboarding process.
Again, we're very early stages here, right. So really appreciate you kind of being patient 0 here or patient 1. But so I think we're going to recommend to Tiffany to do another round. Mm-hmm. You get that next set. I'm hesitant to share any initial reactions because there's the what we think we want, there's what maybe we don't even realize what we need, and there's the what's available.
Right.
So, there's all those kind of things. I do like a lot of what I heard. Mm-hmm. So that part I'm excited about. But we gotta organically work our way through this a bit, if that's okay.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I know if there's one thing Tiffany said, she was like, you don't rush, because you guys aren't trying to quote unquote fill the role. You're trying to find the right person. With the next step, I'm assuming this would be groups. Like it would be like a 2 or 3 people.
I think like 2-on-1.
Oh, okay.
I mean, this crew can get a little alpha. I wouldn't want to throw more than 2 at you at the same time initially. My current perception of your mode of working / personality is at odds with the group. Okay, is that good or bad? Well, I make an argument in both directions. Now I'm sitting there thinking, is that part of the problem? So
understood.
I don't know.
Understood. It's all a process.
Again, appreciate the time. Forgive us for who we are. We are. We can get a little goofy. We can get a little intense.
It's okay.
But I appreciate you guys spending some time with us.
Of course. Thank you so much.
Likewise. See you. Bye.
Bye.
I'm finally back home. Y'all, it was such an experience today. I don't even know where to get started. First things first, got to the library, as y'all know, around 11 something, and I asked the front desk folks, hey, do you have, and I was like, hey, I know you guys don't do reservations, but like I have a study group session at 2, and I want to know like what would be the best time for me to come to most likely get that room. The dude was like, oh, come around 1:30. But I'm like, all right, good thing I didn't do that. I had set an alarm in my phone for 1 p.m. today, which was like a reminder for the interview. Had nothing to do with the room. But I'm so happy I set that alarm or that reminder, because while I was on the computer prepping, getting myself together, the alarm went off. I'm like, oh, it's 1 o'clock. You know what? Let me go find out what's up with the room. I go, the room is only available at 2:05 p.m. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. 2:05, my interview's at 2. So I'm like, all right, cool, no problem, daddy, no problem. I'm like, Lord, if you want me in that interview, you'll create the space for me to have the interview. So it's about 1:55 and I haven't heard nothing from them. So I walk up to the front kiosk and I'm like, hey, is the room ready? And the guy looks at the list. He was like, oh, it's not until 2:05. And I was like, yeah, but what's up? And he was like, well, he looked at his coworker and he was like, well, such and such had left that room and then we just let that other guy in there. So, I mean, I guess you can. I was like, yeah, let's do that. Yeah, because what you mean y'all let the other guy in there? Y'all should have just let me in early. Let me in early. But that's neither here nor there. So follow him to the room. And now we're at like 1:57, 1:58. I'm like, oh my God, my interview. I'm gonna be late. Side note, I had asked Claude like what to do in this situation. Claude was like, oh, send him an email saying, hey, I'm having issues with my meeting space. Can we push it to 2:05? And I was like, this is a fully remote role. If I have issues with my meeting space for this fully remote role for the interview, baby, you're gonna have issues in the role. We can't do that. So I was like, thank you, no thank you. And that's just my little tea on, y'all probably be thinking I listen to AI for everything, but I have a brain. So I'm only utilizing it for the things that I know make sense. Okay. Anyways, what's the next thing? The dude that's in the room, he like dragging his feet to get out. I come in and as soon as I open up the computer screen, it say 1:59. I'm like, Lord. And so I set up the cameras and all that just so I can have the footage that I don't know if I'm gonna post, but I just wanted to have the footage so I can review and see what was talked about and stuff. Get into the interview. Y'all won't believe what they had on. You won't believe what they had on. One of them had on the Under Armour tracksuit jacket. I have to find an image to show you what that man had on. Zipped up to the T. Other dude, black t-shirt. Did I need to be business professional? No, I could have did business casual. I could have went athleisure. But I digress. Okay? Get into the interview, and I just feel like the interview, I just felt like what I learned in the interview is that they don't really know what the problem is, and they have a surface level problem that they're going to address using project management assistance. But if the person does an exceptional job, they're actually going to be able to find possibly a more underlying issue, because the questions that I asked and the conversation, it was very conversational. And so you can kind of see that they don't really know what, they have like an idea of what this could be like, but they're not really sure. And so I was the first person that they interviewed. And I think that they are looking for someone like me with my skill set. You might find a teacher, you might find a project manager, but someone that navigates both worlds with the experience from both. So not a teacher that is teaching project management, like an actual teacher that does project management work, and then now they can like teach. I hope that makes sense. But it's interesting, what I already do online with you guys is what I would be doing over there. The only difference between online and in person is in person, I'll have the opportunity to really see how people are working and then be able to help them course correct. Online, I don't see how you work. I just provide guidance and wisdom that you need to implement, but I'm not physically there to kind of see what errors you're making to adjust. So that's just interesting. But the interview was an hour, a little over. One of the comments that was made in the end was something about like, not a personality match. And I'm like, that could also be one of the issues. Y'all so focused on personality in the role and meshing with the team, and that's probably why nobody really doing shit for real. You need somebody to come through and bar rescue this shit. But what do I know? I don't know. Nonetheless, I'm kind of indifferent, and it's so funny because I know the energy before this interview was very, I'm excited, but as I learned more and I kind of see that I would be operating as a deer in headlights, which I don't mind. Like, I truly love challenges. I like being creative. I like having the freedom to kind of come up with the solutions, because since this is a brand new role, I could kind of do what I want. But I don't know, in the interview I was just like, I think it'd be great if I got the role. I think that'd be awesome, because it is something that I would like to do, like training, coaching, teaching in that aspect. But I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. But the next phase in the interview is, now you're going to meet with the people that you would be, quote, coaching. So you'll be meeting with like 2 of them, and then I guess they're trying to test the personalities, and then I can ask questions and stuff like that. But it's very informal. They don't really even have a process of this. And I'm not going to hold you, I feel as if they are going to, down the line, like, let's say the personality next phase is good, I truly believe that they're going to ask for a presentation. And this is probably the only time I would ever do a presentation. I'm very against doing assignments for project management roles. 1, because my portfolio speaks for itself. 2, I'm not doing no work before I start to work. But I understand in this role, you guys want to kind of see a visual, like a plan of like, okay, tell me what you would do. Now, I wouldn't give them everything. I wouldn't even give them some of the things. I would keep it very vague, and I would do talking points, because y'all not gonna take my ideas to go give to someone else to implement when I'm here with the brains and the ability to implement. Okay. Nonetheless, we're gonna see where this goes. I'm happy I showed up. I gave 100%, and I will reap either the fruits of that 100% or it just wasn't for me. Still gonna keep applying, still going to continue my search, because I gotta accomplish this January goal. I gotta secure a role.